is a Bramble Jam podcast. Hi, I'm Bran, and I love a little British Christmas movie.
Dear God. I'm Dan, and I despise a little British Christmas movie.
I'm Alonzo, and he tackled a Christmas tree, and this
is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Sorry, Fiona. I'm not. I stand by it.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello everybody.
Boy.
How are we today on a Friday?
Festive Friday.
It's a festive
Yeah,
Friday.
it is.
Feeling festive, looking festive, Alonzo. That's a festive shirt.
Flannel you got? Yeah.
You know, it finally got a little chilly here again after temperatures got up to the 80s here last week in Southern California. I don't know how y'all are doing over there, but
we got a couple of 70 days this week.
Yeah, it finally warmed
okay.
back
Finally.
up. So
Took
All
long
right.
enough. Yeah.
you know, we're on opposite sides of weather and the country.
That's right.
So, but it's a very nice festive flannel. I like it a lot. Alonzo, how are you? What's going on in your world?
Oh, you know, I'm still getting over all of those Super Bowl ads that were just real creepy this year. You know, they were either for AI or like everybody had weird de-aging.
Thank you. Can I ask you this question? Because I
Please.
was shocked by the number of AI commercials. I shouldn't have been, but I was.
Yeah.
But the Goodwill Dunkin' commercial, which
Yes.
that is the same technology that Scorsese used in Irishman. Yes.
I mean, technically speaking, yes.
That I didn't think that was AI. Is that AI? That's just a computer
that's
program.
No. De-aging is, I mean, who knows? I'm sure at some point AI gets its mitts into everything. But no, the actual de-aging is just a thing where, they go in and they manipulate
You
the
absolutely
pixels and,
can de-age with AI. I doubt that many actors would sign off.
Correct. Because I thought that was a funny commercial. I enjoyed that commercial quite a bit.
That was one of the better ones. And because the de-aging was supposed to look weird, then they got away with it.
It's a perfect use of de-aging, in my opinion. All these old sitcom stars is perfect.
Yeah.
And then the game?
The football game,
I guess there was one. I didn't really.
It was pretty boring.
Look, we DVR'd the whole thing. We fast forwarded through the game and watched the commercials in halftime, and that was that.
That's how you do it right there. So you just started it late.
Well, I mean, really, we had it on in the background, and then we watched the halftime thing live. And then the day after, or 2 days after, Dave and I sat down and watched all the commercials. We just did an LKTV episode about it.
Can you
on Patreon?
Can you imagine how awesome it would be for the Super Bowl to start at 3:30 in the afternoon? That is the dream. You guys, I mean, I like being here more than there a lot of times, but
and the Oscars start at 5.
Man, but it would kill me. Yankees games would start at 4 p.m. and I would lose my mind because that would be every day.
That's during the weekday.
Yeah, like a Magic game starting at 4 p.m. would be impossible.
Wow.
That's the worst. But Super Bowl Sunday
On a Sunday, nothing else going
3:30
on.
p.m. You just
Got
start
your whole night ahead of you.
You just start eating junk food at noon, and you just go until bedtime. It's perfect.
Daniel, not a week goes by that I don't see something like there's a 70 millimeter screening of Interstellar.
No, listen,
with Nolan doing a Q&A with Timothy Chalamet. And I'm like,
Chalamet.
why doesn't Daniel live here?
If it was,
I'm not going to that, but he would.
I'm just telling you right now. I watched the whole video of Chalamet fumbling through interview questions with Nolan, and one of the more candid interviews I've ever seen. And it was clear it didn't look expected. It looked like it was just like they round everybody up at the last minute to do a 70 mil print of Interstellar. And Chalamet's just out there like, I was in the movie, but it's my favorite movie of all time. And Nolan's answering questions. And it looked like just a bunch of random people. It didn't look like an event you had to plan for months in advance. And I was so jealous to not live in Los Angeles. There are times, there are times where it's just unfair. We don't get anything like that here.
But then, you know what? Y'all do that Christmas parade, and I'm like, why aren't I?
That's right.
So, you know,
That's
it's always
right.
something.
That's right.
That's right. That's
Also,
a great point.
I can drive on the interstate here and still get places.
That's not a selling point for me, but sure, whatever.
Yeah.
I lived in Dallas where you had to drive on the interstate to go anywhere. And it was always a nightmare.
Tinseltown.
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 Apparently it aired on Sky over across the pond.
We've done Sky Movies here before.
Believe it or not, we apparently in the United States had access to this movie first. On November 28th, 2025. Alonzo, you were saying before we started that there was a little theatrical run of this that they were trying to get out there, which I
actually watched this movie on a screener at the end of last year just to sort of keep up with things. But it did open in theaters. I don't know in how many cities, but it had a US run, and now it's on Canopy. So
there you go.
There you go. Watch something.
And then on Sky on December 5th, 2025, and it went a little something like this. We're on the set of Killing Time 7. Meet movie star Brad Mack. He's washed up.
Mr. Brad Mack. I'm sorry, go back.
There won't be a Killing Time 8. His agent explains that no one wants to hire him. He's tough to work with. He doesn't do his own stunts, and he's old. The only offer currently that he has right now is to do a theater show in England. He's never done theater before, but why the heck not? He loves London at Christmas time, and his daughter is there. So he lands in London and is greeted by his driver. And as they begin to drive to the inn that he is staying at, Brad falls asleep. And so he is shocked when he finds out that when they arrive, they are 3 hours away from London. The theater's not in London at all. It's in this small town. And he's going to be in a really weird version of Cinderella, a little pantomime.
The panto,
action,
as they call it.
Which, Dan, you were telling me all about the panto.
I love the panto.
So just really quick for people that don't know, do your
like
pitch on
they
panto.
do a show, but they make fun of it. It's like a story you've all heard, but they make fun of it, and they do bits during it.
Dan loves the panto.
I love the panto.
He goes to every panto in Greenville.
I definitely knew about it before this movie.
He is mad and he wants to quit when he finds out about this, but the contract pretty ironclad, and so they gotta figure this out. To make things even worse, he now has to stay with this old fella named Albert who lives for the panto and works at the theater. So he has to stick around. He shows that he can sing, he can dance, he can act loudly when he needs to. What he can't do is parent his daughter. And when he finds out that she's going to have to stay with him for 3 days, he freaks out. I've got to work. I've got to do this. Well, sorry, because his ex-wife and her new fella are heading out of town.
Crim Independent.
That's exactly right.
Crim for the Independent.
While out and about with his daughter, they bump into Jillian, who is the choreographer at the theater, who is also there with her daughter, Kara, and they begin to hang out. Spending time with his daughter, he actually starts to enjoy things in the small little town, including the performing, despite having a hard time every once in a while with them making fun of him and his career. But it's what the pantos do. It's not personal. Overall, everything is going well until his ex-wife shows up looking for their daughter because they weren't back when she was supposed to be back. And so calls him out in front of the entire crowd. He ends up getting drunk, going on stage, ruining the Christmas tree lighting, and getting arrested.
Well, they're not going to have like a big courtroom speech.
They're going to have a big courtroom speech and the entire panto troupe shows up at this court hearing to make sure that he does not have any more jail time. And the judge is like, he was never going to go back to jail, but thank you all for showing up. And he realizes in this moment that he loves this panto group and he would do anything for them. He wants to show up for them. So he goes and they do the show. They all sing everybody's favorite song, Roar by Katy Perry. And we all have a very Merry Christmas. And that, my friends, was Tinsel Town.
We did it.
Starring, of course, Kiefer all day long.
Kiefer all day long. And Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson also.
Yes.
And Trent
Crim Independent.
That's right.
That's right.
All right, let's take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down with 4 segments here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're talking about Tinseltown today. Let's share our thoughts on it. We're going to start with a hot take. So we share exactly how we felt about this movie. Do not hold back. Alonzo, Tinseltown, what do you think?
Yeah, it's charming, I think, for the most part. Like, granted, I think if I had paid a ticket to see this in the theater, it would sort of feel like this is a TV movie. But if you're watching it on TV, it feels like a TV movie with a little bit more of a budget and some bigger names attached, not just Kiefer Sutherland and Rebel Wilson, but like Alice Eve and Trent Crimm from The Independent, and of course the great Sir Derek Jacobi. Do you guys are you aware of the Kiefer Sutherland Christmas tree tackle incident?
No.
I think it was like in 2005. Apparently, somebody got phone footage of a drunken Kiefer Sutherland tackling a Christmas tree.
Oh, wow.
In like the lobby of a hotel, and it became a meme.
It's very meta.
So in the movie, when he gets drunk and ruins the thing, and as he's leaving, he tackles a Christmas tree, that he's goofing on himself. Like that's a joke there. So like I appreciated little things.
He's going
like
full
that.
panto.
He is, exactly. It's funny. I thought the movie maybe over-explained what panto was, but now I'm realizing no, Americans need to have it explained to them.
Us uncultured South Carolinians are
That's
like,
right.
oh, what is a pantomime?
I've never attended one. I know of them just from osmosis, but that's always been my theory that the reason that, have y'all ever seen Santa Claus, the movie from the 80s?
No.
With Dudley Moore as an elf.
No.
I'm not a fan, and it's never been particularly popular in this country, but huge in England. They love it in England. They watch it every year, and I figured out the reason is because John Lithgow, as the bad guy in that movie, is giving a panto performance. Like he is hamming it up so wildly and so to the back seats that, like, for the British, they're like, yes, this is what we want to watch at Christmas time.
Interesting.
So that's where the whole panto thing happens.
But is panto exclusively around the holiday season?
Yes, it's like they say in the movie, like a lot of small theater companies, that's how they make their money for the rest of the year. It's like the equivalent to here, where if you are a theater company, you put on a Christmas Carol, or if you're a ballet troupe, you do the Nutcracker.
Correct.
Panto is their thing, and it's always some like public domain, like children's bedtime story, but with like, as in this movie, they throw in, Padam Padam and Roar, like they'll do new goofy pop songs, and they will invariably cast some celebrity in a goofy role, often in drag, to like goof on themselves. And so they cover all their bases here for that. So yeah, it's a little hokey, but overall I think it's fun.
Yeah, I honestly I'm wrestling with this movie more than I think
You've really thought about it a lot.
Any Festive Friday movie so far, because everything about this should work for me. It's very silly, very fun. And the idea of 24, Jack Bauer, like
24,
doing this thing should work. But for some reason, it didn't connect. I couldn't decide if I thought that Kiefer was right for the role or not. Like, obviously he is in real life right for the role. Like he is an action star
who was an alcoholic,
like all of it makes sense. Right. But it's like, but also we've watched him in real life be an action star and do all these things.
Right.
And so to see him, it was hard for me to see him do this, and like I wasn't sure. I don't know if I'm even making sense, but there was this.
Is it that it cuts too close to reality, or is it that he's not? Is that he's not funny?
I don't know. That's what I'm wrestling with. Like I can't decide if he's doing such a good job at it or he's doing an awful job at it. And so it's like it's an interesting thing. And then Rebel Wilson's there, and that is just like that. Those two never quite connected to me.
Well, I was glad that they didn't have a romance. Like that's one of the things this movie has going for it. They didn't like shove those two together.
Right. And so I don't know what to think about this movie.
They do kiss at one point, but he needed the lipstick.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I honestly, I don't really know what I think about this movie, which is unfortunate because that's my job, but
it's tough. It's a tough spot to be in.
You land there sometimes.
It's a question mark for me. Everything about this movie I should be a fan of, and I left not really being a fan of it. So, the only thing I can really point to is I just didn't think Kiefer, even though on paper it makes a ton of sense for a action star going to the theater in the movie to be an action star that's going to the theater and outside of that, like it makes sense, but I just couldn't quite connect to it. So I don't know what to do with it, Dano.
Yeah, I share some of that sentiment, Bran. Not that don't know what to do with it. I didn't like it. None of it feels quite dialed in the way it should. And maybe that's too picky for a movie like this. I think to Alonzo's point, if you see this on TV, the bar's a little bit lower, but like, I felt like this was a worse version of a Dickens of a Holiday. Like I felt like a Dickens of a Holiday plays the cartoony aspect of an action star better and the sincere aspect of like what it means to get back to your roots and back to what's important better. And what we're left with is people that just feel a click off. Like there's been things Kiefer Sutherland's in that I've liked. There's been things Rebel Wilson's in that I like. They both don't feel, this is a weird reference that just flew into my funnel, but it felt like watching Tom Cruise and Valkyrie. Like it felt like this thing where Tom Cruise was in this movie that's this World War II movie, and I never could buy him doing anything. Like it just felt like Tom Cruise was trying to want you to forget about Oprah. Like it never, I just kept watching the movie going, I don't know, man. Like it never really all clicked in for me. And it wasn't funny when it should have been funny, aside from 2 throwaway lines that I did think were funny. So maybe it's my lack of experience with the pantomime. Maybe it's the fact that I don't know. It never really connected with me at all. I found myself wishing it was a Dickens of a Holiday, and that's clearly not what they were going for. So there you have it.
Well, they are going for the deal where like he is washed up. You know, the Palaha's character in Dickens of a Holiday is still at his peak, and he's doing this thing sort of as a favor or whatever. And so here it's this thing of like, it's kind of sad because he's managed to alienate everybody.
Yeah.
His career's in the toilet. And then like, he's got to do this show that ostensibly is a step down for him, but it's actually exactly what he needs. And so it's calling on maybe a different emotional.
But it's also interesting with Kiefer though, because like so much of it does ring true to his life, but I wouldn't say that Kiefer is washed up. I still like, he's still working relatively regularly and has had and
I don't think you play that role if you are,
right?
You know,
I don't know. It's like so true I don't know.
Hearing the tree tackle thing does give me a more respect for this movie than I had before. It just felt like a weird mushy middle to me that never really committed to being either as farcical as it needed to be or as like
moving.
Yeah. So yeah, give me something. I just like, it seemed like a kind of a big hodgepodge beluga there, and it didn't really work for me.
It is time for all the feels. It's where we're talking about what gave us feels. Alonzo.
Yeah, Albert, as played by Sir Derek Jacobi.
He's in a different movie. I mean, completely.
Derek Jacobi, legend. Like he was Claudius in the BBC I, Claudius back in the day, you know, that aired on PBS. You know, if you want to see him and Daniel Craig as a hot gay couple, check out a movie called Love is the Devil, where he plays artist Francis Bacon. But yeah, Sir Derek Jacobi, legendary actor, and you know, brings a whole level of gravitas to this movie and sentimentality and warmth, and a love of stagecraft and theater that, you know, he comes from the theater like that. He comes by all this very legitimately. I feel like all of his scenes elevate this movie to an extent where I would think much less of the film if he weren't in it.
Yeah, I mean, my feels was the scene where he breaks down crying about his wife. Like that scene, I was like, what are we, like, he's giving a performance here in a movie that doesn't deserve it. I just was like, he's in a different world for me.
Man, that version of Roar slapped. Great version.
We'll talk more about that in the Wait What.
Really liked it.
I've always said the Glee versions of Katy Perry songs are the best versions of Katy Perry songs.
Katy Perry, an artist I've never really liked, but did love her halftime show.
Okay.
Like riding on a giant, she understood the assignment of like, this should be big and absurd. And like she did it. So,
and I do like A Cozy Little Christmas. It's part of my mix.
Oh yes, it is. I learned that on our road trip.
All right, let's take a break. We'll get back to what we're doing.
You nailed it. It was really good stuff. Welcome back to What We're Doing. It's a new show we're starting. Bran, Dan, and Alonzo.
Getting back
He's
to
only been doing the show for 8 years.
That's right.
Daniel.
Yeah.
we're getting
Only
back to it.
1,600 episodes. There's no way he could possibly know what to say.
We're getting back to it.
Welcome back to what we're doing. What are you doing?
What
See
we're
what's going on
doing?
in your neck of the woods.
What we're doing is the way what. So we're talking about what in this movie Tinseltown made us go, wait, what? I'll start with you, Alonzo.
I kind of went back and forth on the only need is me, which is a terrible line.
So
but on
bad.
the other hand, like not unnecessarily unbelievable as an action catchphrase because like, bad writing is often the hallmark of these movies. I did want to, I have one shenanigan I wanted to call early on is action stars keep working.
Yeah.
Like even if you're past your peak and you're not like what you once were, there are enough like mid-budget movies where they meet your quote
Yep.
that they'll open them big in like other markets of the world where you still, like John Cusack has made so many movies over the last 15 years that none of us have seen.
That's right.
But that that sell in certain markets, John Travolta, like all these guys.
Liam
do these-
Neeson,
Yeah,
Stallone
exactly.
would do that. Oh my
Totally.
gosh. Seagal. Yeah.
So, so that I didn't buy. What I will give this movie credit though, especially coming off of that dumb movie we just saw where the best-selling writer gets a TV crew sent to her house and she has no way of
That's right.
stopping it. Like the only way that this happens to a movie star is if his team is actively sabotaging him,
Correct.
which they are.
Yeah. I think one of my wait whats was I understand him not reading the contract. I understand his talent agent being like, I hate this guy. Let's send him off to Timbuktu and not deal with him. I understand his lawyer also hating him and wanting him to learn his lesson. But he also, every one of these folks have a business agent who only gets money if they get money. And the business agent, who we don't get in this movie, at some point would be like, hey, you're going to because that's taking money out of their pocketbook, right? Like,
Well, no, I think the agent who makes the deal, he is getting paid for this.
but
Like,
the talent agent it works for an agency. And if they are sick of dealing with this guy, they have other clients. The business agent, I think there's a direct financial pipeline that gets it takes 10% and just is like, hey, I'm used to 10% of all these checks of terrible movies and I'll deal with this guy. And it was crazy to me that even though the rest of them do successfully collude together. You're 100% right about that. Yeah.
But no, that is a fair point. And then when the wife decides, hey, let's have this argument about parenting in front of the entire town.
That's crazy.
Including the child.
Including the child, yes. While you have a microphone in your hand. No, you would step aside and wait for the presentation to be over and then chew him out. So that was the giant one for me. But lots of little ones along the way, and I'm sure y'all will get them.
I got a kick out of Kiefer and Rebel are at this market. Their daughters just went to go play together or whatever, and so they would do a little walk and talk. But this market is so small that if you really pay attention to what they're doing,
It's unbelievable.
They're walking in a circle.
It's crazy.
As
you said it, I couldn't unsee it.
And done.
Not a particularly large circle either. So kudos to them though. They did it and they ended the scene at the
spot where they started, right?
They end at the Chestnut stand,
That's right.
which is where they were supposed to end the scene. So congratulations to them. They walked fast and slow, just enough. A lot of not great lines in this movie. But the one that jumped out to me was, I wanted Prince Charming, but what I've got is Prince Alarming. Woof. Woof.
Boy.
Man, what is that? That's tough. And you know what? I appreciate that Kiefer jumped on a Christmas tree like he did back in 2005. I don't know how what he does everything else. He jumps on the Christmas tree and then it knocks out the entire power for the entire town square, which is amazing to me. Even though he literally just took a giant candy cane and smashed it
board,
on the soundboard. Nothing happens there. Sound keeps working, in fact. impact. But you jump on a Christmas tree nearby,
if your entire grid goes down because one Christmas tree gets tackled,
got
it's
problems.
a bad grid. It's a
you've
bad
got
grid.
problems. You should get
You know,
that.
one bulb burns out and the
I
whole
tell
thing
you
goes.
what,
right.
yeah,
the whole town goes.
The entire town was connected to that tree, and the bulb went out. And what can you do, Dano?
Yeah, they have this town has a pretty tiny theater, and they have a Christmas panto that pays for the entire year budget for the local theater. They've said that very specifically. They have a massive action star in the lead. They have signs everywhere, and we find out that late in this movie, tickets, a lot of them are still available, and I'm very concerned. Like I thought the whole point of hiring Brad Mack is you would sell out immediately. Like the fact that they're worried about ticket sales. I mean, the whole point of Brad Mack was the fact that would definitely pay for it, right? Because they're paying him to be there, not much, but they're paying him.
Right.
And so then we see this thing where it's like you can buy tickets. It's like, I was confused by that. That was a problem in my opinion. Hey, Katy Perry, sure. Roar, sure. Why not Christmas song? Why not Christmas song?
Apparently, per Alonso, that's not the Panto way.
But wouldn't they sing a Christmas pop song?
Not necessarily. No.
Wow.
They just sort of sing like the songs of the moment.
Okay, well, great.
Why the Panto way?
Why can't Kiefer Sutherland sing Katy Perry? Have we figured
that is a good question.
Have we cracked that case? Because
he will sing in the most wonderful time of the year, but he's only going to half-heartedly mouth.
He didn't even
mouth any of it.
He just keeps his mouth shut.
Because when he comes out, we noticed it, so then I couldn't stop watching.
The whole time that number, which is a really probably the best part of this movie, is everyone singing "Eye of the Tiger," "Roar," whatever. Kiefer Sutherland's character,
singing "Eye of the Tiger."
Brad Mack,
rising up,
back on the street. Would have worked.
Always does.
But Kiefer Sutherland's character, Brad Mack, is earlier in the movie shows you he can sing. We also know in real life, Kiefer Sutherland is the lead singer in a band
of the Kiefer Sutherland band.
In this movie, for some reason, Brad Mack's character is like, Buttons does not sing Katy Perry. Everyone else is belting Katy Perry.
That was in my contract. Maybe, okay, either he can't sing and dance at the same time, or
to call this a dance.
Katy Perry knows what she did. You know,
this is him the entire song.
So weird that
he's moving his
not,
arms.
I thought he'd learned a lesson. Why isn't he singing "Roar" with his daughter at the end of this movie?
He's choked up.
Is he humming? Yeah, that's all I got, Brad.
It's time for What the Hallmark. It's where we wonder what could have been, maybe have because of clinical which we still have. What are we still wondering about? I'll start with you, Alonso.
So at the end of the movie where a redeemed Brad Mack is like, oh, I love this. I just want to do this forever. And he is immediately reminded by Jill that, well, we have 40 more performances.
Yep.
I would have loved a shot of him at the end of performance 40 to see just how on board he still was for this thing, or if he like never wanted to see, you know, a doublet again.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair one. I think it's more than fair.
I mean, obviously, just wondering about him and his career afterwards. Like I, you know, it's not like he's ancient. Like he could, someone would take a flyer on him. There's plenty of Tubies and whatnot out there that eventually, you would start taking all these action roles.
Listen, I know that this is crazy, but Sylvester Stallone literally was like a laugher of an actor, and then went back to his character of Rocky Balboa in a Ryan Coogler movie, and I believe got nominated for. I know he won the Golden Globe, didn't he?
He was nominated for an Oscar.
He was nominated for an Oscar for this role.
And then he brought Rambo back.
And then he brought, that was unfortunate. That was real unfortunate. But
someone who makes a 7-movie franchise,
that's right.
Isn't just
that was the
done.
7th time he'd played Rocky, and I stand by the fact that his performance in Creed is it's unbelievable. So Kiefer with Brad Mack with a newfound sense of purpose and compassion. Who's to say he couldn't go back to one of these franchises and
But
really
you go ahead.
No. I like to think he moves to the UK so he can be around his daughter, and maybe he gets a role on a Channel 4 sitcom or something.
Yeah, or you go to the West End and be on in the theater.
Yeah, but obviously different circumstances now that we know what was going on in his life. But Bruce Willis was taking so many roles.
Yes,
right.
Like those, if you're an action star, someone will
the gigs
hire
are
you.
there.
But look,
Someone
yeah,
will
I mean,
hire
Nick
you.
Cage, holy moly.
Oh, yeah.
You just get out of financial trouble, that guy.
Yeah.
And then and then he pops up in movies that he gets, every now and then he'll be in a movie and people are like, he should be nominated for this movie. Like he just is, he's just omnipresent.
Yeah. Wild. We did, everybody. Congratulations to us. Next week, we're going to be back with a movie. You might think we reviewed it before. We have not. It's Unexpected Christmas.
We
now,
definitely
you're
reviewed
thinking
this
of
before.
an
And
Unexpected
And
Christmas.
That's right.
We're not talking about that movie. We're talking about the
No.
2025
Unexpected.
Stars movie, I
Stars.
believe.
Yes.
Stars, yeah.
Unexpected Christmas. So come and hang out with us next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks, the Bramble Jam podcast produced by Brandon Gray. And yeah, that Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on the show, you can go to deckthehallmark.com or follow us on the socials at Deck the Hallmark. Please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify, and then find the best corner of the internet with ad-free podcasting, live video watch-alongs, movie chats, and so much more. All that at BrambleJamPlus.com.
God bless.